guys, welcome back to the Infinite Podcast. I'm your host, Elisa.
And I'm Miguel.
And today we have our guest,
Sarah.
She is the host of a podcast called
Sarahtonin.
Sarahtonin. Oh, that's so cute. And what do you talk about on this podcast, Sarah?
Well, I have a mental health podcast. We just talk about mental health related topics pretty much. That's a very broad statement. So it just really just ranges in the topic.
Right. What have you talked? I know you only have 3 episodes out so far.
Yeah.
So just give us an overview as to like what you talk about in the first 3 episodes.
In the first episode, I just talk about like self-discovery. In another episode, I talk about balance, just having like life balance, which is impossible, by the way. But we just talk about how we do best in trying to incorporate different things in life and trying to balance it out as much as we possibly can. And in another episode, I just talk about basically just passions and stuff like that, and kind of just like discovering, like what got you to a certain passion and just in general. So, yeah.
That's really cool. What led you to want to start this podcast?
Well, honestly, there's 2 parts to that question. The first part is my personal experiences. You know, I have been going through mental health things since about middle school, you know, really just like battling self-confidence and self-comparison and just things among that topics. And, you know, growing up in a family where mental health was very stigmatized and considered fake, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, growing up and realizing that that wasn't true is like part of the reason why I wanted to speak up and share my personal experiences. And also on top of that, I was really lucky in high school to have my own like personal mental health resources. So I had like this organization really close to me called the New Albany Wellbeing Connection, and they basically just held events in my community where it would be like workshops and things like that would cater to teens and adults to help with their mental health. So I was able to help with them and set up like workshops with my school and like the community and stuff like that. And they were basically my motivation to actually like start making my voice being heard. I don't think I would have ever had the confidence to do something like that before, but like working with that organization gave me that motivation.
That's really awesome. And it's really cool that you like explore these topics throughout the podcast. I had a question that I thought of while you were speaking. What do you mean by balance is impossible?
Well, I don't know. You know, things come up 24/7. Like,
that's true.
Things can't be perfect.
Right.
So something's always going to be like fucked up. You know what I mean? So it's not possible to be completely balanced, or else I think we'd just be happy all the time and there would be no issues. You know what I mean? But staying as balanced as we can is doing something like, you know, not just spending time with your friends all day and making sure that you make time for yourself too. You know, like you got to stay balanced in some parts of your life. You can't deprive things that you need.
Right.
So basically that's what we were basically talking about in that one.
That's
cool.
awesome.
That's really cool. One thing that I would feel, I mean, you're talking about not depriving you of things that you need, but how would you able to recognize the things that you don't need? Because like sometimes a lot of this social interactions of things that we do may seem like it's what we need or may mask themselves as what we need, but in reality it's kind of detrimental to our health.
Oh yeah. I think it definitely takes time to realize like what we need and what we don't need. On top of that, it just definitely takes like self-realization, you know, like sometimes you think something is super good for you and then you realize later that it's not. And I feel like that's time. It really is. You know, I've been in like tons of relationships throughout my life and I thought it was the best thing for me. And then like, you know, months and months go by and I'm like, oh, this is unhealthy and toxic.
Not good for me.
So I think it definitely takes time. Like it's not like just like an easy thing. So like I feel like that's another thing with like these mental health topics. Like, you know, it's easy to talk about it in an episode, but these are things that took me years and years and years to realize. So it's a timely process for sure.
Definitely. That's cool.
That's awesome. I know you are friends with the interviewee that we had in the previous episode, which we shot. How did you guys meet?
Okay, so Basically for my dorm hall,
Mm-hmm.
we both like met on like the little like Snapchat page for it.
Oh my god, okay.
You know, we're both freshmen, so like
Yeah.
I was like wondering, I was trying to find like friends that are in the same dorm hall as me, so I was just like, oh, swipe up if you live in this dorm hall. He swiped up,
Oh,
and
that's so cool.
yeah, we just got in like a little conversation before we moved in. So yeah, and like ever since then we just talked. It was crazy because we got along like super well. Like it felt like we knew each other for years. And
Right.
one day we like ran into each other. It was at like this like carnival thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like he saw me and he was just like, Sarah, and I was like, cute. We're like, bitch, and we just started hugging. So I don't know. It's just like we've always known each other.
So I guess I have a question. I know. So since you're a freshman, I have a question. Do you feel like how has the transition been for you from like high school to Rutgers, and like
Interesting.
do you feel like it's because I mean Rutgers is a huge school.
Oh yeah.
So I imagine they're going to be much larger than where you went to high school, like regardless of where you went to high school, because it just is bigger. And have you found that to be challenging on your mental health?
Okay, so this is actually, I think for the average freshman, they would probably say it's been very challenging adjusting to something like this.
Right.
For me, it's a very different situation. I'm from Ohio. I went to high school at a
Okay.
school in Ohio. And I hated high school. Like, high school was not for me. It wasn't my thing. I did not like the people I went to school with. A lot of the people that I went to school with didn't look like me. A lot of the people I went to school with were very immature. A lot of them didn't handle situations properly. I didn't like it at all. And at the end of high school, I was in this very like confusing position where I lost a lot of the people around me. And I was just ready to be done. Like, at the end of high school, I was so happy when I got the diploma, and I was in this mindset where I was like, I'm ready to not see these people again.
So you were, sorry to interrupt, so you felt like you were ready for a new chapter?
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. Like, I think the average person would have been very, nervous going into a situation like this. But everybody who I met in Ohio that was like, aren't you scared? I was like, no. I'm not
Not
scared.
at all.
I'm not scared. I know I'm going to be in a new state. I know it's going to be a super different circumstance, but I'm not scared.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I'm sure, okay, because like what you're saying is that the place that you went to high school at, like where you went to high school, like not many people looked like you. Like I'm assuming that means like a predominantly white institution, like a PWI.
Yes.
And I mean, Rutgers is a lot more diverse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if it would still be considered a PWI. I'm sure it probably would be, but I would say it's like very diverse, given that I think it's actually the most diverse university in the country.
Yeah,
I didn't even know.
Yeah, no, apparently, like, as far as I know, a few years ago, that's what they were saying. That, like, according to the data, like, we were the most, like, statistically diverse college. And so I'm sure that's also made that, like, how do you feel being in a more diverse environment? Like, is it definitely more welcoming?
It's 100% more welcoming.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, first of all, there's events, like, all the time catered toward for, like, everybody.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I don't need to be in an environment just around, like, people that look like me, like black people, you know.
Yeah.
I want it to be actually, like, diverse, everyone.
Yeah.
That makes me happy. That makes me safe. I love seeing events for everyone. That makes me happy because, you know, I didn't have that back in my home.
Yeah.
So, it's so welcoming. It makes me happy to see genuinely, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here, you know, like, people ask me that question all the time. Oh, why are you in New Jersey? Like, New Jersey of all places, you know?
Why are you
Exactly.
not in New Jersey? I'm sorry. Wait a minute.
I understand why, because, like, for a person that's from New Jersey, it's like, bro, it's not it. There's other places that are better. But
yeah.
I
I
understand.
disagree with that, personally.
I mean, most people react that way,
Yeah.
though. They're very, like, confused. They're like, why here? And I'm like, you know, I was in Ohio.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm going to say.
saying,
We
though,
don't
like,
know what
why
Ohio is
Ohio?
like.
Like,
Yo,
yeah, like, I was just trying to get out.
Yeah.
isn't Ohio landlocked?
Yeah.
Bro, you didn't even have no beaches.
You have to go to Jersey Beach.
Yeah, I do still have to visit.
Yeah.
It's actually funny
You
because,
have
like,
to go down the shore.
it's funny because
Not
when
missing
you
much,
when you
but-
look up, like, beaches near me in Ohio, like, Hoover Dam would come up.
Oh, that's
People would
crazy.
be swimming in the dam and call it a beach. It's actually sick.
That is really sick, actually.
Sorry.
Glad I live on a coast. Have you visited New York yet?
I have visited one time, but honestly, I'm not really counting it because I visited with my mom, And the city environment is not really her thing, you know.
Okay.
So she was like panicking a little bit.
I panic too.
Yeah. I mean, it's not for everyone, for sure.
Yeah.
But I just love the chaos, you know.
You do?
Yeah.
I feel. Oh, go ahead. No.
No, you go ahead.
Maybe you just needed that contrast. Like you were so ready to leave that what is it?
Sedentary.
Thank you.
Say?
It's early in the morning again. It's a morning podcast. Yeah.
It's noon.
Yeah. For me, it's morning. I'm just waking up. But yeah, you was just ready to leave that slow life and just get into actions, like ready to meet people.
Yeah. I definitely think that was part of the reason. And I also lived in Houston at one point in my life.
Okay.
And I was born in Ohio, and then I moved to Houston, and then...
Houston sounds better.
Oh, yes, Houston was 100% better. But I had to move back to Ohio due to, like... yeah, I know. It was, like, a family reason why I had to move back to Ohio. So it was kind of, like, out of my mom and I's control.
Right.
So, like, being back in Ohio, it was just very, like... why the fuck am I here type of thing.
Especially if you knew that there's something better out there.
Yeah.
Once you get that taste, you're like, damn, why?
Yeah. Exactly.
I have a quick question. Now, having that excitement to meet people, do you ever feel like that excitement also made you make a few mistakes here and there, like made you be more abrasive towards people that maybe you shouldn't have, or
trustworthy?
Yeah.
Like, being more trusting towards people and, like, kind of leaving yourself exposed to people not being the nicest.
Yeah. 100%. 110%.
Yes.
Yeah. That's part of the thing that I mentioned, like, in high school, how at the end, like, a lot of my friends, like, how I lost a lot of them, that's, like, kind of part of the reason, honestly, I feel. It was a lot.
Not the best. So I was gonna end up changing the topic. So if you want to ask something before that.
Oh, so you were used to knowing how fake people can be, right? So.
Before that, I feel like before that situation happened, I honestly feel like I was a bit naive to it.
No, understandably so.
Yeah, because I'm a pretty, like, positive person for the most part. Like, if something, I tried my best to look in the positive side of everything.
Like, it's okay that you're naive. It means that you're not fucked up. You're not jaded.
Yeah, so, like, when people do something fucked up, I'm like, oh, well, maybe they were having a bad day. It's like, no, Sarah, they're a bad person. So, yeah, I feel like I was a bit naive, but now I definitely am more cautious and mindful of what a fake person looks like, or, like, the signs, you know, maybe.
That someone isn't being, like, honest with you.
Yeah. And I mean, even now, like, after the whole situation happened, I feel like now I know, like, if I am, like, thinking that someone could be that way, I know how to, like, communicate and approach the situation, you know. So.
That's cool.
That's awesome. So I was going to go to a question I asked you actually before we started recording the podcast, because I just thought it would be, like, a good question to include.
Yeah.
But what is your goal in like doing your podcast? Like, what do you hope people take away from it? What are you hoping your impact will be with that?
Yeah. Well, I feel like my overall goal is, you know, I talk about a variety of different topics. Right. So I can't really pinpoint one goal, but all I can say is that, like, it's supposed to be kind of like a journey between me and the listener. Like throughout each episode, like, I kind of take them on, like, a conversation. Like, sometimes it'll be, like, personal experiences, and then also it'll be like steps that I took to get to where I am trying to be, or where I want to be, or whatever. So, like, it's supposed to be just, like, a conversation between me and another person. So we're just going on a journey together, between all the, like, mental health topics that I'm talking about. So yeah,
that's awesome.
It's supposed to be like a friendship, like a little, like, relationship.
Like, I'm that sister you can come and talk to.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Where do you get your inspiration for your topics? Do you think they come a lot from, like, what's happening to you in that moment in time?
Yes, 100%. In that moment in time, and also, I guess, like, if I had to choose another person I get inspiration from, there's a podcaster and also a previous YouTuber called Emma Chamberlain. Very popular.
We know her.
Yeah. I like her podcast a lot. She's very, like, casual, and since she used to have a YouTube channel, like, a lot of her topics, like, some of them are, like, I don't know, from YouTube videos or, like, something like that. So I like that kind of like style that she does. So she's definitely someone I get inspiration from as well.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Jeez.
Do you feel like music can be kind of therapeutic in a way? Do you ever feel like...
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Like, what things do you find to be therapeutic for you in times where you might be struggling mentally?
There's a few things. Music, yes, 100% can be one. I don't know. I feel like what we're putting in our bodies and like what we're listening to can impact a lot. You know, there's like some specific artists that spread like really good messages lyrically, and it can like help me during a tough time, 100%. And also, this is a weird one. I don't expect it to apply to everyone, but I know that if something terrible happens to me, I know the first thing I'm doing, and that's taking a shower. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. No,
but
I like that.
It's like it's washing off of you. Like
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's a de-stressor because you're doing something nice for yourself.
I have no idea why. It's super weird though. Like I got out of a relationship of like a year and a half. First thing I did, take a shower.
You gotta wash him off of you.
Yeah. I don't know why. But yeah. Those are like the main things. I could definitely say like some other things that could help, like journaling. Journaling is something that's really hard though. Like I respect the people that consistently journal because I am not one of those people.
Yeah. I am trying to journal as well and trying to write down my thoughts, and it's hard to write down all your thoughts because they come and go so fast.
They do.
You know?
Yeah.
And you never know which one is rooted in an actual fact or just a feeling or anything. So it's an interesting and a good way of organizing your thoughts, but it's way harder than it, you know.
Yeah, it is. And also another thing, meditation. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I love meditation so much. Like I have never felt like the type of peace that I feel when I'm meditating.
I agree.
So that's another thing that's hard to stay consistent at though.
Like, it is.
True. You know, if you wake up late one morning, there goes your meditation. Because I like doing it in the morning at least. I like to start my day off like feeling calm and stuff like that.
How would you? It might be a silly question, but like, how do you not fall back to sleep?
I don't know, to be honest. I just don't.
Because I've tried doing that, but I would just like oversleep.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a morning person, so maybe that's why. I think that could have something to do with it, but I just don't.
Just don't.
All right, it's a little different. Sorry.
How did you get into meditation, and like what do you use to meditate? And I ask this because I used to meditate, but the only way I was really able to do that is if I did like a guided meditation where it would slowly start with someone like talking, and then the talking would trickle off, and then I would be in my own space. But I don't know, like I know people who do it like in complete silence, and I'm like, I don't know if I could.
Yeah, I do a guided meditation, and I think I actually would fall asleep if I didn't do a guided one because I hear the person's voice.
I think that's the reason.
Yeah. I listen to the person's voice, and one thing about me, I can't fall asleep when someone's talking. Like it has to be completely silent. So maybe that's actually why. Actually, but yeah, I use 2 apps. There's one called Headspace. There's one called Calm.
I heard about that. That's everywhere.
Yeah.
I did Headspace and Calm for a time period.
Yeah. Because Calm like came with my like Apple TV for free. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I was able to do it for free for a while. But most of them you do have to pay, which really sucks.
Yeah,
I think there is some on YouTube though.
I do YouTube.
Yeah.
I used to do it a lot. I used to work at an optometrist's office, and I used to do it on my lunch break. So I would sit in my car, and I would look up like how much time I would see how much time I had left until the end of my break, and I would look up like 20-minute, 30-minute, hour-long guided meditation, and I would just sit and I would just listen to it. And it was, whenever I would come out of it, I'd be like, wow, I feel like the weight of 1,000 elephants has been lifted off my shoulders. Like I just feel brand new.
Oh my gosh,
I feel like my brain has been like washed.
No,
and,
yeah. Like it's specifically like I usually do it in the morning, but if I have like a really bad day, and sometimes I'll choose to meditate. Specifically if I'm like, you know, I'm just feeling like a roller coaster of emotions. You know what I'm saying? Don't know how to come down from it. Meditate, and then like right after you just feel like, I don't know. It's like this feeling in your chest. You just feel so different.
Yeah, you just feel so, I don't know. For me, I feel very light.
Yeah.
I just feel very light. And that's always really cool. I used to I used to listen when I had the come up. I used to listen to the Harry Styles like falling asleep one. I used to love that one. When I was really big in my Harry phase, but
That's so
that
funny.
was like one of my favorite ones. That's just like a random thing I thought I'd add in.
Yeah, I've never listened to like the night ones, but my roommate does that actually. So like once in a while, like her AirPods
hear
will like
it.
disconnect, and then it'll just be someone like fall asleep. Like I don't know, they'll just be talking in like a soft voice.
You're in the woods. You see a lake.
Yeah, it's like the sleepy time stories.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about just white noise?
I love white
Yeah.
noise.
Oh, rain
I
noise?
love.
I'm personally not big on
you're
white
a fan
noise,
type of
no, but I like the rain. I do like rain
Ooh,
sounds.
that's good.
Yeah.
Or ocean sounds I like too, but I'm not big on just like white noise.
No, like just like.
Yeah,
That-
that one I'm not big on. I need it to sound like something
Okay.
real.
Yeah, I
True,
love
true.
white noise. I love rain sounds. I used to like when I had my TV at home. I used to listen to this like literally like 9-hour rain. And it would be like a fireplace and like rain in the back on my TV. That was my favorite. 100%.
Not me,
Yeah.
man. I need complete silence in a cold room.
Really?
Like
You're not into white
hibernation.
noise?
No, nothing. I just
Oh,
need
wow.
silence.
Silence.
Silence. Like I'm the type of person that if
Maybe that's why
like
you're
if
falling
I hear
asleep.
if I hear a
huh?
cough, like
During the meditations. Funny, because a couple weeks ago I had a conversation with Miguel where I was like, I used to like listen to guided meditations, and Miguel was like, nah, you gotta do that in quiet.
that's bro.
Now he confesses, I fall asleep when I meditate.
I'm not. Well, I'm not.
Because I do it in silence.
Just because I know that what you're supposed to do doesn't mean I'm doing it. Okay?
That's fair.
But it also depends on what type of goals you have for your meditation, I guess. Because if you're doing a guided meditation, the benefits are that you get lifted up, like you feel more lightweight
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
that. I'm trying to do the meditation with nothing at all, so I'm able to control more of my thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because like it's more of an exercise of trying to. Because in the thing right now, when we go about our lives, our brains just produce a bunch of thoughts at once. So I'm just trying to be able to just have the superpower of not letting myself go by any thought that pops up.
Yeah.
You know, like being able to recognize that just because you think of something doesn't mean that's how you feel for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I like meditations, to be honest, because like honestly both of them are kind of like that. Like I feel like trying to just like control your thoughts, like focus on like the little things in your body, like your
Exactly.
breathing, focus on
Yeah.
like the, you know, just anything else other than like the craziness that's going on in your mind, because sometimes you just need to slow down.
Yeah. Sometimes you just think too much.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
too
Like-
much thinking.
No, yes, 100%.
Analysis paralysis is one of those things that if you think too much, you're never gonna end up acting on anything. When at the end of the day, and that ends up being more detrimental towards your goals, because doing nothing is worse than doing something, even if that something is not as good as you think it was gonna be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I have an audience question.
Okay.
/ really a Solana question.
Okay.
How do you handle tough moments in life now versus when you were younger? And do you see a huge difference in that?
Yes, a super big difference. I feel like when I was younger, I would just act on emotions, really, honestly. And obviously, acting on emotions don't typically lead to great things. You know, you
Right.
tend to lash out on people. Sometimes you tend to do harmful things to yourself. Sometimes you tend to, I don't know. It never ends up really good necessarily. So I feel like as I've gotten older, I've learned to develop, I don't know, just ways to just calm down, stop, maybe do like one of the things we talked about, and then like learn how to
Go
respond.
meditate, go shower.
Yeah. Learn how to respond with my head, you know, not my
Yeah.
emotions. Because, you know, at the end of the day, like, you don't want to be that person that ruins something great because you just have a bunch of things going on in your life, you know?
Right.
Like I've had so many people like lash out on me for not doing anything at all. And, you know, just because they were having like a bad day, and you know, you don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that person. So
Yeah, you never know how one thing could affect that person's whole world in that moment.
Yeah.
Because like to you it could be just like a passing by comment, but to them it could be that one thing that's like, you know what, that's it. That's it. I've had a shitty day the whole day just because of that. You know?
Exactly.
I'm gonna lash out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It could be like me this morning when I was trying to get into my parking spot and the lady wouldn't get out of her parking spot, and I was literally like, I'm gonna kill someone.
What happened to the meditation then?
I should have. I didn't have time, but I was in the middle of driving. Okay, here's one thing that you're gonna learn about New Jersey if you ever start driving here. Is that right now, driving in New Jersey is not a good time. It is not a good time.
Oh.
It is quite literally the most frustrating thing in the world. Every road is being repaired.
Why?
Everyone drives like an idiot. It's horrible.
Why
I've
is it
noticed
always
that.
under construction? Like,
Everything is
what's going on
under
with the
construction,
highways?
and there's always so much traffic. Like, I'm sure
Why
you
does
take
it
a
pay
bus
like
to get
this
to class.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're like, why is this taking so long?
Yes.
And
I do.
why am I packed in this bus like a sardine?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I've definitely noticed that about New Jersey. And on my way here, like literally just for move-in day, it was the most outrageous thing ever. Like in Ohio, it took 10 to 20 minutes to get like literally everywhere you ever need to go.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't matter where you were going, it's always 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Here, I feel like everything's 40 minutes.
That's how
Every
it,
single
dude,
thing.
It used to be like 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
and it's because of
5,
traffic
10
too.
years ago, it used to be like 20 minutes you could get anywhere. Now
Yeah.
it's like 20 minutes will take you across town only.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even get to the other one.
Right.
You can only get like halfway through one town in 20 minutes. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I have a question that has to do, like, how do you think the living through the pandemic, like, affected you mentally? I know we're going kind of in a different direction, but I know, like, the pandemic for a lot of people was a really, really difficult time mental health-wise, and you were really young during that time period. Like, how young were you in 2020?
Back then, I was like, I don't even know.
This was 3 years ago, so what, you were like 15 maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy because 2020 doesn't feel like it was. that long
2020
ago.
doesn't feel that long ago, but you're like, actually, so much has changed since then.
Yeah, and it happened like this.
It's weird. Yeah, it's very, I feel like time has moved so strangely ever since that happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing has
That
ever
is
been
true.
normal since
Yeah.
then.
It's definitely been like a stamp in our history.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna be the one thing
Yeah,
that
for
we
sure.
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah, that's gonna be that thing when we're all old that we're gonna tell our like grandkids
Back in
about.
the
and shit.
pandemic.
Yeah, back
Yeah.
in my day.
Back in
those
the
were-
first pandemic, you remember?
Back when I lived through the plague.
No, literally.
Yeah.
We used to have to wear masks. And people used to get mad when the mask was under their nose.
Yeah.
But yeah, it changed a lot, 100%. I feel like specifically academically, that's when like my academics like went real south. Like during-
Really? I'm
Yeah.
really interested to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, like it went really south. Mainly just because I took this like college course class, and then like the pandemic happened and it got changed. So I got switched to like working with like a professor in like an actual like college class. There was no
Wow.
Zoom classes, but I was all of a sudden in an actual college class.
Cool.
And before it was supposed to be through a high school teacher
Mm.
teaching it. So I had to learn how to work Blackboard. I had to learn how to like be in college. And as
You were 15.
I know, and it was super weird. I ended up failing the class because I was so confused.
It's okay.
And
Wow.
yeah, and I tried to write an appeal against it, and they didn't accept it. They kind of didn't care. They were like, whatever. And then ever since then, like school has just been different. Like I was like all of a sudden struggled when before then I never had to try.
Right.
And it was really like hard for me. It took a toll on my self-confidence. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, because before I was like, oh, you know, I won't study, whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, it went to me coming back to school, teachers acting like nothing happened, and
Yeah.
adjusting, and I was just, I'm not even gonna lie, a wreck, you know? Especially since, like, you go into school with all these expectations of, like, getting a good SAT, ACT score, as well as maintaining regular grades, and I had to get adjusted on top of that. It was not good for me. And I started neglecting my mental health a lot because I was so focused on school, and that's when like mental health started to honestly be important to me because like I had to kind of just like get to a stopping point in my life where I was like, okay, so when am I going to learn how to, like, balance my mental health and academics? You know what I mean?
Right.
True.
Because you can't just, as much as, like, they want us to just constantly, you know, do
Grinding
schoolwork,
Yeah.
be this perfect student, I got to have my life, too. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was, like, the main thing. Like, I think that was the moment that actually made me really realize how important mental health was.
Right.
There-
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
There isn't some sort of like mental health department in the Rutgers at all for like students, or isn't there like some sort of program or like?
From what I understand, there is.
Yeah.
There's like
Yeah.
you can get like therapy through the school. There are like mental health
That's
counselors.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's free therapy.
It is free therapy, which is really nice.
Take
But
advantage
the
of that,
only
guys.
thing that is a little bit frustrating sometimes with Rutgers is like I feel like you have to seek out everything yourself. Like nothing is gonna necessarily be presented to you. You always have to look it
True.
out,
Yeah.
like look out
True.
for it.
Yeah.
Because it's so big. Like no one's gonna like chase you down to do this thing that
That's
you need
right.
to do.
And,
You
like,
just have to do it.
Sometimes you might feel the way and you didn't even know the root of the problem. You didn't even know that you need to go to therapy.
Right.
So without even knowing that was an option or without somebody presenting it, showing you that it's easy to just go about your day or your life without ever finding that one of those tools.
Yeah, yeah. And also, I don't know, another thing. I feel like, also keep in mind, like, therapy, like, it can be for, like, literally anybody. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, like, I feel like everybody could benefit from therapy. You don't even have to have, like, a specific, like, problem or issue that you, like, know about. You know what I mean? But I think it's interesting because, like, as someone that's been in therapy before, it's interesting seeing someone, like, dig into your past and see the way it could be affecting you today. Because a lot of times those things are, like, completely unconscious. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't realize any of the problems that, like, were from my childhood that were affecting me today. You know what I mean? So I feel like anybody could really be beneficial to it. So it's definitely something that is important to be promoting for anybody, you know?
Yes.
One thing I read one time was that by the time you're like 5 years old, you will have learned all of these habits that just kind of become part of your subconscious.
Dang.
And that like the rest of your life is kind of about
Based on those tabs.
unlearning them
Oh,
or learning to work with them.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like
Because-
reprogramming yourself
Yeah, like
again.
reprogramming yourself again because like not everyone's first 5 years are gonna be good programming.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
for any parents, for the first 5 years, you
Be on
don't
your
fuck
best
up.
behavior.
Don't fuck up, alright? 5 years.
5 years. Try to be good for 5 years.
Oh my gosh. That's why the idea of parenting scares me.
It is really scary. It is because
Yeah.
you're like forming this whole human being, and their whole worldview is going to be based on not their whole worldview, but like their basis for a lot of things is going to be based on how you teach them. So it's
No,
like if your kid
exactly.
ends up being a shitty person, that's kind of on you.
No, exactly.
Definitely. And even if you don't want to implement your shitty behaviors to that kid, he's gonna take it because you can't stop being yourself.
Right.
And the
Exactly.
way the humans like grow and like develop is just by imitation.
Exactly.
No, yeah,
Exactly.
it's really, really crazy, like how much kids can pick up from their parents without even knowing.
Right.
And the worst part about parenting is that this world doesn't seem like they're making it easier for
Yeah,
you to
they're
have
not.
a kid.
Oh, it's getting worse.
Depopulation
Getting
for sure.
harder.
Right.
All right, guys, we're gonna go on break. When we come
Don't
back,
stop.
we'll continue the party. All right,
Yeah.
guys, we're back.
What's up?
We're back with Sarah. So, before we came back from commercial break a few seconds ago, we were wanting to talk about what you're studying in school.
Oh, okay. Well, my major is animal science.
Very cool.
So, yeah, animals are kind of my thing. I'm kind of trying to stay away from the whole, like, pre-vet thing and go more on, like, an animal behavior side. So, like, also, like, mental health related because it's, like, more of, like, animal psychology, technically.
Right.
So, yeah.
What do you, like, I'm not very familiar. Like, what would you study in animal psychology, or, like, what would you use that for?
Yeah, so basically it would be a lot of researching in, like, animal behaviors, like, why they act a certain type of way.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably want to go more in the direction of, I don't know, animals that are, like, maybe, like, mentally disturbed or something, so, like, rescue,
Okay.
you know, helping them recover from whatever they went through, because, you know, a lot of times when animals are stray, you know, they have a lot of, like, mental issues,
Right, yeah.
have a lot of behavior issues, need training. I would be helping with that. So, yeah.
That is really, really cool. Did you see that study that came out recently that said dogs have dreams with their owners or about their owners?
I actually did see that literally the other day. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like about their owners?
Yeah, about their owners.
Yeah,
like
I
with
saw
their
that the
owners
other
in
day.
them. Yeah, I just thought that was like really interesting. I was like, ooh, how do you even
Yeah.
find that out? That's so curious.
Yeah, they probably hook them up to one of those machines while they're sleeping and see the little like, you know, like
Right.
the little like.
Or like they associate like whatever skins they see during the dreaming to the skins that they see when they see their owners.
No, yeah.
Match that up.
Yeah, even though that confuses me because whenever my dog dreams, he be like running and barking and drinking, wagging his tail. Like, it's just funny.
He's a sleepwalker.
He doesn't sleepwalk, but he like moves his legs. He'll be like sleeping, he'll like move his legs. He'll like start wagging his tail. Sometimes he'll bark. Sometimes he'll like like
that's so crazy.
Yeah, like when he's sleeping, he's very vocal.
It's interesting how lately we're discovering so many things about dogs that are like making us more and more alike. You feel like, for example, that like the ability of dogs maybe having dreams with their owners. Like, since when have you heard of an animal having a dream? Or like the ability of dogs having anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll be able to like, oh, dogs can have emotions too. Like, are they just not a tool? And it's interesting because since the beginning of our survival, dogs have been the one animal that we domesticated first, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got that thousands and thousands of years of just working together that maybe that led into doing something into the dog, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
That's interesting.
Man's best friend.
Right.
One thing I was thinking about when you said that was that pigeons were domesticated for 10,000 years. And now we like think they're gross, so we don't keep them as pets.
Right.
So they're like essentially homeless birds, and it's apparently really sad because we've domesticated them to the point where they don't know how to make nests anymore.
Dang.
So like they don't make their own little houses. They like don't like when that's why they like perch themselves on top of buildings and stuff like that because they don't know how to actually make themselves homes and stuff.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
We
I
affected their whole
you should
behavior.
study what that psychological trauma could bring upon, because imagine being domesticated and being let into like homes for like 10,000 years as a species to then all of a sudden be considered like not sanitary, and therefore you're just like you're a homeless bird now. Like what kind of trauma that causes the bird population
for sure. That's crazy.
or the pigeon population specifically.
Yeah.
I never understood. It's interesting because I could never see myself having a pigeon in my house.
No.
Yeah,
Like-
I don't even know how we would like get around that problem though, because they actually do spread a lot of diseases and stuff like that. Like a lot of diseases come from them.
Imagine
So it's like-
humanity was like, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but imagine humanity was like, oh, actually, this is not a cool pet. Fuck this.
Yeah.
We just
Put
skip
them
to like
back.
just.
Well, I mean, personally, fun fact about me is I have like a horrifying fear of pigeons.
Really?
Like, I don't love,
Fear?
I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't love any birds, but something about pigeons specifically, like, drives me up the wall. Like,
You feel like they're staring at you, so.
I see a pigeon and I cross the street. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, if I'm walking on the street and I see a pigeon
What
on
do
the
you?
same side of the street that I'm on, I fucking cross the street. I'm not dealing with
How? They're everywhere.
I know. I know. Well, I moved to the suburbs. You don't see as many there.
You
so.
know, you know what bird I hate? Seagulls.
I hate seagulls.
Oh,
too.
I hate seagulls
Nah,
too.
cause like if you,
I hate seagulls
because if
too.
you live by the beach, bro.
Which you used to.
Yeah, I used to live in Atlantic City, and the boardwalk was a big thing. So like in Atlantic City, you have nothing else to do but to go to the boardwalk. So like imagine I can't count the many times that I've seen a seagull take
Fuck
something.
up a person's food.
Yeah, not even fuck up, just straight up grab that shit
That's
and
what I'm
go with it.
saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like, why are you so comfortable? You shouldn't be
Yeah.
that comfortable.
Got me swinging in the air and shit. Like,
No, I know. I'm just trying to eat by the beach. Like,
Yeah.
what?
And they're be hungry. Like you can whip out a chip and they
They'll
know. They be
come.
looking at
And
you
all
like
their family and
bombastic
friends be coming
side-eye.
too.
Yeah, it's like they call the whole crew to come fuck you up.
I
you're
know.
you gotta stop.
I know.
But with pigeons, what specifically triggers me is the sound of the flapping of their wings.
Oh.
Like I literally like, if you ever are walking with me on the street, that
Birdman.
sound, I hate that sound. I
Birdman.
literally hate that sound. And if they start flapping, I literally go until they like go. Like it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so I can't even like. It's not even an exaggeration. When I'm out with my brother and he sees a group of pigeons, and he's walking with me, he'll wait until we get close, and then he'll run up on them so that they fly away, and so that they start making the sound, and I start freaking out. Like, it's the weirdest thing.
Your brother's dope.
He told me one time my brother was like, in a past life, you were probably killed by a group of pigeons, and that's why you're really scared of pigeons. And I was like, okay, whatever, fair.
I don't know.
That would be a sad way to go, like being folded by a pigeon.
It would.
I know.
I'm like that though too. Not with pigeons though, but with buzzing sounds. Like I don't like buzzing sounds. Like so if it's like a bee or a fly, like if I hear like the scratching that they make.
Oh, not
like,
okay.
Yeah, like I like freak out. Like I used to like cover my ears and just like run out the room. But I've had to be better because I don't know why. Ever since I got to New Jersey, I've noticed there's a lot of bees around here. I don't know why, but I've had to like control how I act because I'm like I don't want people to look at me like I'm crazy.
You're like, I just got here.
No, yeah, like I'm like I gotta
it's
be
my
normal.
3rd day out here.
No, literally. And also same with cicadas, like the sound of that cicada.
Oh, I hate those. Everybody hates those.
I kind of freak out by like the way that they.
It's just a recent thing though, because they used to not be here.
Well, they come out once every like 17 years, and they like fuck a lot, and then they go back. They die, and they lay their eggs, and then the eggs stay underground for 17 years.
Bruh.
And they come back. That's why you only see them like once every few years. Yeah.
I'm glad we're over that.
We've gotten over the hump. But okay, what led you to want to study animal behavior? Like, how did you reach that? At such a young age. I say that because like I'm older and I'm like still like I don't fucking know what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's been be a veterinarian since I was like super young.
Really?
Like, literally like I've always loved animals since I was super little. And then like when I started my junior year of high school, I started to have second guesses. But I was like, like whatever, I'll stick with being a veterinarian. My senior year I was like, no. And I started to work with more like animal shelters and stuff like that, specifically like animals that were like rescued. And that's kind of what started my interest in animal behavior. And on top of that, my dog had a lot of like anxiety problems and stuff like that. So with that being said, like helping him with a lot of his mental health issues, and I'm not really sure like what happened to him like before we got him, but like he has some like he gets triggered by like certain things and stuff like that. I have no idea like where it came from, but literally ever since we got him, he's been triggered from specific things. So like working
like what things?
Smoke. Like if someone's having like a cookout or something during the 4th of July, not only like the sounds but also like the smoke from the fireworks, he freaks out. Like there were several times I'd be walking him, someone's cooking out, he'd get out of his leash because he doesn't like smoke.
Wow.
So working around that, like those issues, like it was a lot, but I really liked doing it.
Has your dog does he get triggered by any fire as well?
He's never like witnessed an actual fire. It's really just been like smoke, or at least not in our hands. He hasn't witnessed the fire.
True.
Like I have no idea what happened to him before we got him. Like maybe it was a fire. Yeah. Like that's what I always think about.
Where did you get him from? Like did you get him from a shelter or from like a breeder?
We got him from like his previous owner. It was just like some random lady. I don't know. Like I know. I don't know. I'm glad he's in our hands now because I don't know what happened. And also, like, my mom's friend also got, like, his brother, and his brother had problems, too, so I think something was going on, for sure.
Yeah, that sounds like it definitely was the case.
Yeah.
Fucked up lady.
Later.
She need therapy.
You need to talk to her.
Yeah. But that's mainly where it, like, came from, between my dog, volunteering. That's where, like, the switch-up kind of came. So, yeah.
Do you hope to get more into volunteering now that you're, like, volunteering at animal shelters and stuff like that in New Jersey?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, no matter, like, what field you go in, like, the veterinary, animal stuff, you have to have, like, experience. Like, most of your stuff is, like, experience-based, research-based, stuff like that. So I'm going to have to. So, yeah, I, like, really hope to find some, like, organizations and stuff like that.
I mean, I know that there are, like, a few in the area that I've seen personally. Because I was actually, my boyfriend, I saw this, like, list on Pinterest of, like, cute date ideas to do with
Yeah.
your boyfriend. One of them was like volunteer at an animal shelter, and I was like, oh, that's actually really cute. I'd like to do something like that.
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and there's definitely like a few around here. So I was like, I could do that one day.
Yeah, I'll have
for
to look into that
funsies.
because it actually is super fun. Like, I don't know, like,
Because you like volunteer to like play with dogs or like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
yeah. I
Take
mean,
them on walks.
there was like a few times that I had to like watch a dog get like neutered or something like that.
Okay.
It wasn't too okay. Maybe that's because I just don't mind that stuff, but it wasn't
Yeah.
too bad for me.
Okay, no, not gonna lie. When you started that sentence, I thought you were gonna be like, a couple times I had to see a dog get put down, and I was like,
Oh no, I couldn't.
yeah, I was gonna say
I don't know if I
that's where I
could.
thought that sentence was going. And then you said neutered, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but some people are like super squirmy to that stuff, but like I don't. I'm just like,
Cut my
whatever.
man's balls off, bro. I was
Yeah.
squirmy too. Shit.
I'm crying. No, it's actually funny you said that because me and my friends were talking about the other day. We were like, imagine getting put to sleep and you wake up and they're just gone.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's testosterone. That's
Like,
it. No power.
that's
That is
terrible.
true. Yeah, no one explained what was going on or
No,
anything.
literally, like justice for them. For
No
real.
nuts for her. So dumb. Did you ever feel like you had a lot of experiences with animals growing up in Ohio?
Like, I had a lot of pets.
Okay.
So yeah, like I had like a lot of experiences with my pets.
You had a
first
lot
of
of
all.
exposure to it.
Yeah. Like I had a hamster once. I had guinea pigs. I had
What do you find the enjoyment in a hamster, bro? I'm
oh
sorry.
gosh.
It's just there, bro. Like,
I don't know. They ran in their little ball, you know.
but like you can't have them run around. Like that's the thing. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. It ran. I guess yeah. Honestly, no. It wasn't too crazy. But like I was in like 3rd grade, so it's like
Manageable
Yeah.
for a 3rd grader.
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
It wasn't that much responsibility. And then the guinea pigs, I got to take them outside sometimes, but I guess
Okay.
it's a little risky taking them outside because birds.
Bigger animals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those damn seagulls.
Yeah, that was always a risk. A bird could like come and eat them, so it's like, oop, that would suck. But that never happened. So.
Do you
got
always
lucky.
feel like more inclined towards mammals specifically, or are you like also a birds or lizard type of person?
I like all animals.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
I've
You
yeah.
fuck with snakes?
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
I don't.
I mean, I
I'm
haven't.
sorry.
I've mainly just stayed close to like cats and dogs and like.
I
little,
forgot about cats.
Yeah, maybe also like rodents, but not so much rats. But I am probably gonna have to do stuff with rats soon because they're a lab animal and
Mhm.
Right.
I'm gonna have to get involved with that eventually. So yeah, and also I gotta tell myself like I don't know why I have like a weird thing with rats when like I've had a hamster. It's like basically the same thing.
Same idea.
They're both rodents.
Yeah, it's like very close. So I don't know why I'm like weird about rats, but
Once you see a New York City rat, you'll know they're
No,
very
yeah, you
different.
understand. You'll understand.
oh, I've seen pictures.
Yeah, they're crazy.
They're so big.
Once
Are
Master
humongous.
Splinter says hi to you, but okay, so you're cool with ants. I messed up the thing
What?
because I was gonna ask her. You're cool with lizards. You're cool with mammals. You're cool with birds.
Yeah.
Are you cool with insects? Ooh, see? Okay.
Insects-
Controversial.
Let me tell you, it's okay. I hate insects myself.
Yeah. Like that's where I got to draw the line. Okay, like
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I don't mess with spiders. I don't mess with spiders.
Right.
Spiders are crazy.
Yeah.
Ants are fine. Okay, ants. Ants only get scary to me when they come in groups. Okay, if it's 1 or 2 ants, that's whatever.
Like I can deal with it.
When they bring their whole colony, it's like
Yeah, we're rolling deep, man.
yeah,
What's good?
yeah. Like when you drop something on the floor, like when you see something on the floor and you just see like their whole family eating that shit. It's just like
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, don't love that.
Yeah, like that kind of creeps me out a little
It's-
bit.
yeah,
Like when
it's
there's large
understandable.
amounts.
It's something about insects that is like, animals are so cool when they're big, but once animals get to this really, really small thing, they just turn into like alien looking things.
I know, and I try to convince myself. I'm like, oh yeah, like we need insects. They're good. Oh,
For the ecosystem.
spiders are good. They're supposed to be like killing stuff. Like they're good.
Like that.
But like I just can't wrap my head around it. They just scare me. And I don't know. It doesn't help. Now I live in like a dorm room, so I see them like really often.
No,
How
no.
do you feel
It's
about
gross.
amphibians?
Amphibians?
Oh, and that's how you say it?
Yeah.
But
Amphibians.
learning one word at a time, guys.
Amphibians.
The more I know. Amphibians.
Yeah, I fuck with amphibians.
Yeah, you like frogs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like there's any reason to be like scared of them. Like, yeah, they're kind of like slimy.
Yeah.
I've never held a frog, so maybe that would change my mind, but...
I'm just going through the list of things that you like.
I'm very weird with textures. So,
Yeah.
like, me personally, like, I remember I used to go camping as a kid a lot. And just, like, whenever I would feel, like, the skin of, like, a frog or even a salamander, not for me. It was not for me. I just don't want to touch them. Like,
yeah.
I get scared of even touching them. When I feel it, I'm like, ew.
No, I mean, that's valid. It's not the best texture.
Yeah, I'm very weird on textures with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I haven't, like, interacted with a frog that many times in the first place. I mean, like, me and my friend, like...
Don't come across them too often?
Yeah, I mean...
Don't
yeah, I mean, me and my friend, we used to, like, catch toads, like, when it would rain in, like, 4th grade.
Oh, shit.
But then other than that, like... That's like it, to be honest. I've never met a friend with a toad or anything.
What's one animal that you used to see, or maybe not used to see all the time over there, but you don't see here?
That's a good one. Well, obviously, like, in Ohio, obviously, like, cardinals everywhere. I don't see them here.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
that's just a bird, but, what else? I feel like I didn't see that much, like, wildlife. It would just be, like, birds, and just shit like that.
Okay.
It would be like something, but here on the other hand, those weird, like, little red fly things, I did
Red
not see them
flies?
back in Ohio. The ones that are, like, not supposed to be here.
The invasive species.
Yeah,
the
that I'm supposed to
lantern
kill?
flies.
Yeah, everyone's like, Sarah, kill it. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't want to kill that thing.
Dude, they're everywhere. They're such an invasive species. I hate them.
I know, and they're scary, so I don't want to kill them. But then people get mad at me for not killing them because you're supposed to kill them.
Yeah, you're supposed to kill them because there used to be, like, up and down this street, actually, right outside of the studio. They used to be all over the courthouse, and I, like, one of my exes used to, like, go around and just, like, spend time, like, killing them, like, literally go out of his way to go kill them. I was like, that's so crazy.
Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Yeah.
Weird.
What's your star sign? What's your astrology sign? I'm curious now.
Yeah.
Now that we're here.
I'm a Taurus.
You know what's so funny? I was gonna say, like, I thought you were a Taurus.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, okay, like, something about you gives earth to me. Like, you just seem very down to earth.
Oh, that's a good
Like,
thing.
the earrings, the necklace,
Thank
the
you.
the bracelets, like, everything about it is giving earth sign to me. And then your love for animals was also just like,
I guess that makes sense. I never
Yeah.
thought about that. Oh my gosh.
yeah, you're just giving earth to me.
Huh.
Nature.
I didn't want to guess in case I was wrong, but I was gonna guess Taurus. I also like
Really?
the cozy sweater. It's just giving Taurus to me.
Oh, that's a good thing. Most people don't like us, so I hope that's a
Oh
good
my
thing.
god,
Really?
that's so untrue. My brother is a Taurus. One of my best friends is a Taurus. I love a good Taurus. You guys like being comfy. You guys just like,
Exactly.
you guys like luxury and comfort, which I respect. I respect that a lot.
Yeah. Wait, what sign are
What do
you?
you, well, before telling you, what do you think, why do you believe most people don't like us?
Oh wait. Oh, you're
Yeah.
a Taurus?
Yeah.
Oh,
I already
my
give
God.
it
Before I say, why do you think
I
most
know,
people
right?
don't like us?
God. I don't know. I feel like
Oh my
we're
God,
left out a
dude.
lot. Like I be seeing those Instagram posts that are just like, oh, this connects to your sign. It'll be like Gemini, Sagittarius, Aquarius. I never see Taurus. Taurus always gets left out. Never ever. And also, like, every time I tell people that I'm a Taurus, they're like, like they have this look on their face. They're like, okay. I mean, you're a nice person. So.
They probably
Or-
don't have an idea of, they don't know anything about.
Yeah, and also a friend that I used to have, she used to be like, oh, my mom's a Taurus. And then, like, I'd hear stuff about her
So
mom,
your
and it'd be,
mom.
like, the worst thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm different.
We're like, I'm not your mom.
I know. I used to have to defend myself. I'm like,
Not your
we're
mom.
friends. Like, I'm different.
Yeah, I'm a Pisces.
A Pisces? Oh,
Yes,
okay,
I'm a
okay,
Pisces.
okay. Yeah.
I'm a dreamy girl.
I feel like I don't know that many Pisces, to be honest. I can't lie.
Well, now you know one.
Period. I like your vibe. So
Thanks,
it's
thanks.
giving. It's giving.
So, Sarah, where can we find you on where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram. My @ is sarah._.smilez. And also, I have a page for my podcast as well, The Real Sarahtonin.
Love that.
Spelled like my name, not like serotonin.
So, Sarah, SARAH, H?
Yes, and then
Tonin, Tonin. And
Yes,
then
yes.
your podcast can be found on Spotify, from what I remember.
Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music,
She's
YouTube.
everywhere.
I got it.
You got
She's
it. Okay, she's a
got it.
tourist. She's a hustler. She put them on all the different platforms.
Yep, period.
Okay, perfect. And spelled serotonin the same way I said it before. Don't make
Yes,
me spell it
yes,
again.
yes,
Please.
yes.
Please.
Yes.
Well, it was a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure meeting you.
Nice
Thank
meeting
you.
you guys too.
And we'll see you guys next time on the Infinity Podcast.
Bye.
Peace.